Okay, everybody, so today we'll talk about a very important system, urinary system, and few clinical conditions or diseases related to the urinary system. So first we'll see the organs or parts of the urinary system. Then we'll talk about the important functions of this system. Then we'll talk about the nephrons. Nephrons are the functional units of kidney. Very microscopic tube-like structures present inside the kidney. And nephrons produce urine. Inside the kidney, nephrons produce urine. So that's why nephrons are the functional units. So we'll see the parts of a nephron, how it looks like, and the parts of it. Then we'll talk about the processes of urine formation, how the urine is produced in the nephron. We'll see that. There are three processes of urine formation, so we'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about a few clinical conditions. So first, the parts or organs of the urinary system. You have two kidneys, right and left. So the kidneys produce urine. And then you have two ureters. Ureters are tubes. They bring the urine into the urinary bladder. So this is the bladder. So ureters bring the urine into the bladder. And then from the bladder, urine gets out through the urethra. So kidneys, right and left, and ureters, okay, right and left, and then one urinary bladder. Urinary bladder is only one, and one urethra. So those are the parts of your urinary system. Now, if I ask you in one sentence, tell me the function of the kidneys. Kidneys produce what? Urine. By filtration. Make sense? So, kidneys produce urine by filtration. So, blood enters into the kidneys, renal artery. So, blood enters into the kidney through renal artery. Huge amount of blood enters into the kidneys. And then kidney filters, separates the toxic chemicals from the blood, as well as water. Some water and toxic chemicals are taken out from the blood, and that is the urine. And then from the kidneys, urine is taken to the bladder by the ureters. So ureters basically transport the urine from the kidneys to the bladder. And the bladder holds the urine for few to several hours. So the urinary bladder holds the urine for few to several hours, stores the urine. And when you desire, when the bladder is full, you excrete the urine to the outside of the body. So from the bladder, urine goes to the outside atmosphere through the urethra. So urethra is the tube like structure that takes the urine out from the bladder to the atmosphere. Make sense? Now, only urethra part is different in male and female. You know, male urethra is much longer than female urethra. Male urethra is about male urethra is about 20 centimeter long. Female urethra is only about 3 to 5 centimeter long. Okay, so much shorter. Other structures are same. Okay, so now you know the parts and their functions. Now, the functions of the urinary system as a whole. I mentioned the functions of the kidneys, ureter, bladder, urethra. Those are individual organs and their functions. Now, if I ask you as a whole, what are the important functions of the urinary system? Number one, urinary system is the major excretory system of the body. Why? Because most of the toxic chemicals that are produced by metabolism gets out from the body or eliminated from the body through the urine. So urinary system is the major excretory system of the body, and most of the metabolic toxins get out through the urine. Number one. Number two, your urinary system regulates the water in the body. You all know, if you drink like 5 glasses of water, now what will happen? Your urinary system will produce what? More or less urine. More urine, right? So if you drink more water, urinary system does what? Produces more urine, right? To do what? Why? If you drink a lot of water in your body, the water amount goes up, right? So your urinary system will not let it happen. Your body needs normal amount of water, right? Not excess. So that excess volume of water will get out through the urinary system. Is it clear? So that's how the urinary system regulates the water in the body. Make sense? Now, if you don't drink water for a couple of days, what will happen? Urinary system will respond how? By producing more or less urine. That's very highly concentrated, right? Small volume of highly concentrated urine. Is it clear? So, you see, your urinary system, in this case, tries to preserve the water, right? Will make highly concentrated urine and try to hold the urine, not let it get out. So, that is number 2, regulation of water in the body. Number 3, blood volume. Regulation of blood volume. You tell me, if you drink, again, same thing, too much water, then the volume of blood will go up or down? If you drink too much water, water will go to the blood, right? So blood volume will go up. That will increase the blood pressure. More blood means more blood pressure. Okay? So when the volume increases, the pressure on the arterial wall will be more. So blood pressure will go up. So urinary system also regulates the blood volume, right? And by regulating the blood volume, it regulates the blood pressure. Is it clear? So, you know, if someone gets hypertension, high blood pressure, sometime, I believe some of you know, if you take that person that you cannot control the blood pressure, if you take the patient to the urgent care, they will give a medicine that will produce more urine. Do you know that? Diuretics they will give, so the person will immediately, right, pee, and the blood volume will go down, blood pressure will go down. So that's the treatment, immediate treatment, right? So producing more urine, water will get out from the body, sodium will get out from the body, and that will bring the blood pressure back to normal. Make sense? So you see that medicine is working on the urinary system. So how many functions I have mentioned? Number one, I said it is the measured what? Excretory system, right? Most of the metabolic toxins will get out through the urinary system. Number two, I said regulation of what? Water in the body, right? Regulation of blood volume, right? And by regulating the blood volume, it regulates the blood pressure. Because if blood volume goes up, blood pressure also goes up. Okay? Another function is acid-base balance. This is another very important function of the urinary system. By regulating the pH of blood. So by regulating the pH of blood, the urinary system regulates or maintains acid-base balance. Just to know that this is very important. If in your body or blood hydrogen ion concentration increases, this is very important. If hydrogen ion concentration increases, that will make the blood acidic or alkaline. More hydrogen ion means acidic. Remember, this is important. That means the pH goes down. So this relationship is very important to understand the physiology. So normal hydrogen ion in your blood is good, right? Everything normal is good. So normal hydrogen ion is good. Make sense? Now if for some reason excess hydrogen ion is produced in the body or accumulates in the body, that will cause what? The blood acidic, and that is called acidosis. Have you heard that? Acidosis. That means your body fluid or blood is turning towards acidic. The pH is going down, which is good or bad? Acidosis is bad, right? Okay, good. So in this case, this is very simple. Your body has excess hydrogen ion, right? So kidneys will do what? Will excrete that excess hydrogen ion through the urine. Make sense? Through the urine, excess hydrogen ion will get out. So we'll bring the pH back to normal, hydrogen ion concentration back to normal. Is it clear? So very simple. If you have excess amount, urine will take it out. Okay? So that's how the pH is being maintained. Okay? So that is very important function. Another is electrolyte. Electrolyte balance. What are the electrolytes? Those chemicals carry electrical charges. Sodium carries what? Positive or negative? Anybody? Positive. Sodium, right? Chloride? What do you think? Negative. Okay? Potassium? Positive. Calcium? 2 positive. So these are all what? Electrolytes, because they carry what? Electrical charge. Positive or negative, doesn't matter. Those chemicals carry electrical charge. They are electrolytes. And these are very important for your body. Right? So the normal concentration should be maintained. If the amount of any electrolyte goes down, kidney will try to preserve it, will not let it get out from the body through the urine. Make sense? And if excess amount is produced, then it will let it get out. So very simple. Okay, so now you already know the important functions of the urinary system. It is the major excretory system, right? Metabolic toxins get out through the urine, number one. Number two, I said, it regulates the water volume in the body, regulates the blood volume, and by regulating the blood volume, it regulates the blood pressure, right? And what else I said? Acid-base balance, electrolyte balance. Make sense? So those are very important. Now, why you need to know that? Because if your kidney is not working, then all these functions will be lost. Make sense? So all the complications will start. If kidney is failed, then it will not be able to produce enough urine. Make sense? So enough water will not be able to get out from the body. So what will happen? Blood volume will go up, right? Water volume will go up. So if water volume goes up in the body, water will accumulate in the interstitial spaces in the tissue, right? That will cause what? Edema. Have you heard that? Edema, accumulation of fluid, right? Excessive fluid in the tissue. So we see that in kidney failure. Make sense? We see edema, particularly in the foot, leg, see edema. Okay? Swelling, water, accumulation. Makes sense now, right? Acidosis, right? That happens in kidney failure. Hydrogen ion cannot get out. The most dangerous is metabolic toxins. Urea, uric acid, those are metabolic toxics. Ammonia. So these toxins are continuously produced in the body because these are metabolic toxins. And metabolism is happening all the time, right? So these chemicals, toxic chemicals, are being produced all the time, right? So kidneys are continuously excreting them, removing them. Now, if your kidney is not working, then these toxic chemicals will do what? Accumulate in the body, right? And toxic chemicals, when accumulates in the body, that will affect all the systems of the body, right? All the organs will be affected. So that will cause organ failure. Other organs your brain, right, will not be able to function normally because of toxic chemicals. Will damage the brain tissue. Okay, will cause damage of other important organs of the body. So we see organ failures or system failure. Okay, your systems are not functioning, and that can cause death. So now you understand why kidneys, urinary system is very important, right? Very important. Yes.
I was just wondering what other kidney, what kidney would fail to cause or what organ would fail to cause the kidney to fail? Like if the liver fails, does the kidney fail?
Yeah, liver is very much connected. Another is the cardiovascular system. Okay, if you have heart failure, kidney will not get enough blood because your heart is not pumping strong enough, right? So that will cause also the failure. So yes, cardiovascular and system and liver both are important to keep the function of the urinary system on. Okay, so now you understand that what will happen in blood pressure if someone has kidney failure? Go up, right? Because blood volume will go up and blood pressure will go up, right? So hypertension, that is one common thing in kidney failure, hypertension, high blood pressure. Okay. Now, we'll see the anatomy of the kidneys. Kidneys are bean-shaped organs, like bean, and located in the lumbar part of the body, here, back part, lumbar part, lumbar area. And another thing remember, kidneys are retroperitoneal. That means what? Retroperitoneal means outside of the peritoneal cavity. Inside the abdomen, you have peritoneum. That's the covering of the abdomen. And kidneys are not located inside that. Kidneys are located outside of that. Let me show you here. This is your cross section. Like if I make a cross section here, this is the cross section of your abdomen. This is the abdominal wall. Abdominal wall. And this is called the peritoneum, attached to the abdominal wall. And peritoneum has two layers like this. This is, for example, your stomach, this is your liver. So this is the peritoneum, that membrane. It's like pleura around the lung or pericardium around the heart. So it goes inside and covers the internal abdominal organ, like your stomach, intestine, liver. Now, this is back, this is front. Your kidneys are located, look at this, here. Not inside the peritoneal cavity, outside, behind the peritoneum. Make sense? So that's why kidneys are called retroperitoneal. And these are called what? Intraperitoneal. Intra means what? Inside, right? So those are located inside the peritoneum. Intraperitoneal. Few organs are located outside of the peritoneal cavity. Kidneys are like that. Okay. Now, if you cut the kidney and see inside, what are the structures you will see? First thing you will see that outer and inner part. Outer part is called the cortex. Outer part is called the cortex. And inner part is called the medulla. Okay? And in the medulla, you will see pyramid-shaped structures, like triangular, like this. Have you seen pyramids? Yes or no? No? But you have seen in pictures, right? Pyramids. So, pyramid-shaped structures. So those are called pyramids. That's not difficult. So pyramids are in the medulla, inner part. Okay? And the pointed inner end of these pyramids are called papilla. So this part, the pointed inner parts are called papilla, facing inwards, the angle facing inwards. Tip part. And then you have what? You see small funnel-shaped structures here. You have seen funnels, right? So funnel-shaped structures like this. Like cup, like this. So basically, if this is the papilla, this is the pointed, right, papilla, and a cup-shaped structure is like this, funnel-shaped structure. Okay. So what happens from the papilla? Urine is secreted into that cup or funnel. Okay, so urine is released from the papilla here into the funnel-shaped structures, and these are called minor calyx. So minor calyx is the funnel-shaped structure that is around the papilla of the pyramid, and it collects the urine from the papilla. Okay. So here, the minor calyces then do what? They join together to form major calyx. So few minor calyces get together, and this area is called major calyx. It's bigger. Major calyx. Okay. And then what happens from the major calyx, the urine enters into this wider upper end of the ureter, that is called the pelvis. So this upper end of the ureter is wider, and that is called pelvis. So this part is the pelvis. So that's all. Okay. So then from the pelvis, the urine will enter into the ureter and then will go to the bladder. Okay. So that is the passage of urine. Okay. Now let me quickly review. So the triangular structures in the medulla are called what? Loud, everybody. Pyramids, right? And the pointed end facing inwards, papilla. And papilla secretes what? Urine, right? And the cup-shaped structures, minor calyx, okay, collect the urine and gives to the bigger major calyx. Make sense? And then from major calyces, urine goes to the upper, wider end of the ureter, that is called the pelvis. Make sense? Pelvis. And then to the ureter, to the bladder, and through the urethra gets out from the body. Is it clear? So that is the passage of urine, or flow chart of urine. Okay, good. So that's how the urine flows in the urinary system. Now sometimes what can happen, stones can be formed. Okay? Stones can be formed in the pelvic area or minor or major calyces. Kidney stone, we said. Kidney stone, right? Have you heard that? Kidney stone. Okay. So that can be formed in those areas, minor calyx, major calyx, renal pelvis, and that stone can get detached from here and can even block the ureter, or can go all the way down to the urethra. Okay? Once it gets detached, it can travel with the urine and can block the ureter or urethra. And that is a very painful condition. Okay? So it will cause inflammation in the tubes and cause severe pain. That can cause fever and infection. Okay, and what can cause the formation of stone? If someone doesn't drink enough water, urine is highly concentrated, okay? So for a prolonged time, if you hold the urine, all those factors can help to form the stones in the kidneys, okay? Okay, so we have already talked about these structures. Now we'll talk about the nephrons. Inside the kidney, you have very tiny tube-like structures. Those are called the nephrons. And nephrons are the functional units of the kidneys. If you see one nephron, how it looks like. If we see one nephron and make it straight to see the parts. Okay, so this is the structure of a nephron. So this part, very first part of the nephron is called Bowman's capsule, also called glomerular capsule. Glomerular capsule, same thing, okay? And then this part is called proximal convoluted tubule, PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. Convoluted means what? Anybody? Straight or not straight? Which one? Have you heard this word, convoluted? No?
Not straight.
Not straight. It's like convoluted, spiral, like this. So proximal, you see this part is not straight like this. So proximal convoluted tubule. And then this part is called the loop. You see loop, U-shaped. This is called loop of Henle. Loop of Henle. And then you have this part is straight or convoluted. What do you think?
It's convoluted.
Convoluted, right? This is also convoluted, right? So this is proximal convoluted, early part. This should be what? Distal convoluted tube. Look at me. This is your upper limb, right? This part is proximal. This part is what? Distal. Proximal is closer. Distal is away. So first part is the proximal convoluted tubule, and then this part is distal convoluted tubule. So easy to remember. And this last part is called collecting tubule. Collecting duct or tubule, also called collecting duct. Okay? So those are the parts of your urinary system. Okay. Okay. Now what happens is, see how the nephron works. In each kidney, you have more than 1 million nephrons. In each kidney, how many? More than 1 million. Can you just think now that each kidney is like this, right? And inside that you have 1 million, more than 1 million nephrons. So now you can think how tiny, right, those tubes, tubular structures are. But each nephron can individually produce urine. That's why it is called the functional unit. Okay? So each nephron can do what? Produce urine by itself. So now how the nephron produces urine? We know that filtration is the process of urine formation that I mentioned at the very beginning today. Kidneys produce urine by filtration. So you see here, this is a capillary structure, and this capillary structure is called glomerulus. Glomerulus. A tuft of capillary or ball of capillary, which is called glomerulus. Now if you take capillary and coil like this, that will make a ball, that is called glomerulus. Make sense? Have you seen your grandma or older ladies knit sweater? Use the worm or wool, right? A ball of worm, and use those things to knit the sweater. So it's a tuft of or ball of what? Capillary, like that. Okay. Now you just think that if this is a ball of capillary, right? If you make it straight, it will be what? Very long, right? Very long, which is very important here. So blood enters into the glomerulus this way, and this is called afferent arteriole, small artery, okay, brings the blood into the glomerulus, and now the blood flows inside the glomerulus for a long time. Because why? It is very long, right? It's a ball, so it is very long. So blood will take some time, right, to finish circulating inside it. Is it clear? So it will stay longer. It will do like this, okay, and then get out. So during that time, what will happen in the wall of this capillary? You have fenestration. This type of capillary is called fenestrated capillary. That means you have big pores or holes. So these are fenestrations, openings. So what will happen? Water and electrolytes, chemicals will enter into the nephron from the glomerulus, because the capillary wall is highly what? Porous. Highly porous. So when the blood will circulate, water and chemicals will get out, right? And will enter into the first part of the nephron. And then it will start to, the fluid will start to move this way. Now, in the tube, nephron, two things happen. In some locations, water is taken back into the body. In some locations, other chemicals like sodium, potassium, chloride, those chemicals get out from the nephron. That is called reabsorption. Very important. So getting out from the nephron means reabsorption. Now, this is important, you can write it down. Getting out from the nephron means reabsorption, right? And reabsorption means going back into the body, returning into the body. Make sense? Now, if I ask you that a lot of water has been reabsorbed in the nephrons, that means a lot of water has returned to the body, right? So that means in the body, water will be more. Make sense? Now you tell me, if I say reabsorption of water stopped, that means what? Water is not returning into the body. That means what? Water is getting out as urine. anything remains inside the nephron finally will get out as what? Urine. Is it clear? Anything remains inside the nephron finally will get out as urine. Anything reabsorbs, that means what? Retaining, right? Staying in the body, going back into the body. Is it clear? Okay. One more thing happens here in the nephron. Opposite of reabsorption occurs. For example, here some potassium, hydrogen gets in through the wall. So just opposite of reabsorption. Urea, toxic, right? Urea gets in. That means we'll get out from the body with urine. And that is called secretion. Secretion. Okay? So now, those are the three processes of urine formation. I have already explained. Here, this is called filtration. From the capillary, water and electrolytes, chemicals are getting into the nephron. That is called what? Filtration. So that is one process of urine formation, number one. In some places, water and chemicals are taken back into the body. That is called reabsorption, right? So that is another process. And in some locations, opposite of reabsorption occurs. That means from the body, directly the chemicals enter into the nephron through the wall. And that is called secretion. So three processes of urine formation. Make sense? Okay. So let me just review. If I say that secretion of hydrogen ion has occurred, that means what? Hydrogen ion has excreted out from the body or retained in the body?
Excreted.
Secretion means going into the nephron, right? So we'll get out from the body. You are right. If I say that hydrogen ion has been reabsorbed, that means staying in the body. Is it clear? So now you tell me, very good. If hydrogen ion concentration increases, I explained before, right? Your body becomes acidic, moves towards acidic, right? Acidosis. So in that case, which one should occur, reabsorption or secretion?
Reabsorption. If it's becoming acidic, right?
Because hydrogen ion concentration has gone up, right?
Yeah.
So which one should occur, secretion or reabsorption?
Reabsorption.
Secretion.
How about this side?
Secretion, so it gets out.
Yeah, very simple. Secretion. Because, that's fine. So secretion, right? Because secretion will excrete and reabsorption will take it back into the body, right? We don't want to take back more hydrogen ion. It should get out, right? Should flow out. Okay, good. So that's how the kidneys regulate the pH and other electrolytes, okay? By regulating the reabsorption and secretion. Okay, very important. So those are three processes of urine formation. Now something interesting. If I divide the nephron into two parts, first part and last part, here. This is the first part of nephron, this is the last part of nephron. In first part, it is not sensitive to any hormone. No hormone works here. Non-sensitive to hormone. Last part is sensitive to hormones. So which hormones? distal convoluted tubule, in this part, a hormone works that is called aldosterone. Very important. Comes from adrenal gland. So from the adrenal gland, a hormone called the aldosterone is released, and the blood brings that hormone here. This is very interesting. Only works in this part, last part, and helps in reabsorption of sodium and water here. Reabsorption of sodium and water is helped by aldosterone. Is it clear? So now you tell me, okay? So if aldosterone is released more, reabsorption of sodium and water will be more or less?